communicates with people, the true God, manifestations, speaking in tongues, interpretation of tongues, prophecy, word of wisdom, word of knowledge, discerning of spirits. There's no possession with the true God. So that innermost man, it's called your inner man. It's also called the Christ in you. I'd already spoken in tongues on the way walking home to my spooky haunted home. I would speak in this language that I thought I was just imitating and playing in German and trying to, sound like different languages. But I remember that it would comfort me, and I would feel so good by the time I got home to but it came so naturally to me, I just thought it was something I was doing, I was making up. But the more you do it, the more you speak in tongues, and by the way, you do it, you're not being possessed. You use your mouth, your lips, your tongue, and at first you just might get a drip of water out of the faucet, and you'll say that, you say that word, and then you just say another one, and you practice this stuff, and you'll get very fluent. And some people have what's called a genus of tongues, in that they speak in several different tongues. I think I've got at least 3 tongues. One sounds kind of Russian, one sounds kind of Native American, Indian. Anyway, I have noticed through the years that I can't even tell when people have been speaking in tongues. Maybe they've started, they didn't before, now they are, and that they receive more revelation, they receive more of the word of wisdom, word of knowledge, discerning of spirits. They're much more in tune with other people. This all makes sense when you learn more and more about speaking in tongues. Interestingly enough, in the book of Acts, it's the very first thing after Jesus Christ had gone to the Father. Before he went to the Father, in the book of Acts, first chapter, he says, tarry, stay in Jerusalem until I send the promise of my Father. The promise of the Father, which was to be filled to capacity and overflowing. The manifestation of the Spirit are the overflowing of the Holy Spirit, where it overflows. The Holy Spirit overflows and is manifest. It overflows into our temporal reality realm. That's the manifestation in overflowing. So if I were to go to the book of Acts, chapter 1, and I'd like to take you there right now, Jesus says, tarry in the city of Jerusalem until you receive the promise of the Father, which was the long awaited promise where everyone would be able to prophesy and hear from God and have direct communication with God. Okay, so this is chapter 2 of the book of Acts. When the day of Pentecost had fully come, they were all with one accord in one place, and suddenly there came a sound from heaven. That's any place above earth. It's not like way up. Biblically, any place above. So they're hearing this sound as of a rushing mighty wind. And it filled the whole house where they were sitting. And then there appeared to them divided tongues as of fire, and they sat upon each of them. Each of the 12, these, fire is always in the Bible symbolic of God's acceptance of his sacrifice, of his purifying and cleansing. So they're seeing this